Hello, everyone. My name is Tolu Odubanjo, and this is Talk to Tolu Toro. And tonight we're going to be talking about my network, my net worth. Does your network, does it worth your net worth? Something like that. So please, as the speaker is going to be speaking tonight, he's going to connect, try and connect and try and ask questions, what is networking about? How do I start a conversation if I want to start networking with people? Why do I even have to network? Something like that. This man is the best person to come and speak to us tonight about this topic. Prepare your mind and prepare your question. As I was saying earlier, no, I was saying something about networking as an investment in your business, in your workplace, in your church, in any community you find yourself as a student in your school. Then you want to know if who am I even networking with? Who do I need to network with? It's not everywhere you find yourself you want to network. It's not, and why do I even need to network? Just keep your mind open as the speaker is going to talk to us tonight. It's a very informal setting, sit down, relax. But one thing I want you to do for me is I would like you to show your beautiful faces so that our speaker tonight can connect. Imagine me talking to the screen and there's nobody there. It would be nice to see your beautiful faces, your body, your body language. It's nice when we can see that. As I've said, what kind of conversation can you have? Some people say, okay, I want to connect, I want to network, I want to do this and that, but I don't even know how to start. That's where we are here tonight. And before I bring the speaker tonight, I would quickly like to introduce him. Hello, are you there? Can you hear me? I want to know if anybody can hear me. I want to know if you can hear me. Please use your icon. As I've said, let's see your faces. Please use your icon to. Okay. Niyi Adesanya is an award. Just a little bit about him. Please, I want you to do your research because I might not be able to say a lot about him. He's an award-winning author, a award-winning leadership performance expert, author who has written a lot of books, he's trained a lot of people, is one of the top two speakers in Nigeria, if not the best speaker in Nigeria, as we're saying. He's written a book that I really, really love. It's called Leadership Quadrant, which I have a copy. His CV is loaded. To be honest, I want you to go and Google Niyi Adesanya. It's as simple as that. I will be putting his handle here for us. He's my mentor. He's somebody I really, really, look up to. And I want you to connect with him tonight. You are not going to, waste time. It's not, please ask questions. Ask questions. So I will bring him on board now. Go to the chat room. Welcome with me, Pastor Niyi Adesanya, Dr. Niyi Adesanya. He simply like to be called Niyi Adesanya. Thank you. When you want to ask question, I will meet you. I'm trying to look for I call him my Oga. I'm trying to look for him now. Can't find him. I've seen him. I've seen his name, but I'm trying to so I can bring him out and unmute him. I can't find you, sir. Has anybody see PNA? We call him PNA. You can call him PNA tonight. I've seen him. Yeah, I've seen him. I can't find him. Has anybody seen him? Let me know if he's there. This one they say welcome, sir. I've seen him, then I can't see him anymore. I think maybe it's changing devices or something, but because I've seen him before, as soon as I started talking, he's in. And okay, while we're waiting for him, I don't know. If anybody see him, please let me know in the chat room. You will see Niyi Adesanya. That's what he wrote on it's just his name. Okay, somebody was asking me when I sent the flyer that what do I mean about my network being my network. So Like Yoruba adage, we always say like in Olashomi and things like that, that if not for this person, if not for this person, I would not be able to achieve this. I would not be able to achieve that. I'm just trying to look for PNA. I can't find him anywhere, but I've seen him earlier. So as I was saying in my short video, I was saying on your list, who can you call on your phone? In the middle of the night, who can you call when you have that emergency situation? Who can you ring and say, in the middle of the night, and you see that, oh, if they see my name, they're not going to be mad with me. Do you have that relationship to be able to ring somebody and say, please, 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 I need you to come and stay in my house. I need to go out. Stay with my kids. I need to go out. Place a demand on somebody. Would you be able to do that? Do you have the relationship? Do you have the trust? Do you have you deposited in that relationship for you to be able to withdraw from that relationship? Then somebody was saying that I was telling that person that's what I meant by it's your network enough to be your net worth. Please, if you have seen PNA, let me know if you have seen him. I've seen him, then I don't know what happened. I can't see him. Just go to the chat room and let me know. Thank you. If anybody have any question, prepare them. Prepare your question. I don't want to paint my picture because I won't be able to. Now I can see everybody, but I can't see him. If you see Niyi Adesanya anywhere, please let me know. It's been in and now it's out. Okay. So that's it about that. Now, I was saying that the currency of real, you know, it's real networking. It's not great, but it is, generous. What I'm trying to say is that when you say that your network it has to be generous. You cannot go in networking with an ulterior motive. Say that I want to meet somebody because of this. They're going to find you out later that you are in this relationship as just to benefit from the relationship. It shouldn't be like that. You should just be in a relationship with an open mind, believing that, okay, not even believing that, because one day something can happen. You'll be able to draw from that well of relationship. I don't want to be the only one talking while I'm waiting, please. And somebody was asking me that do I know that it's possible for somebody to be in a relationship and network with somebody and you believe that they're going to have your back if something happens and you ring them and your hope is dashed. I said, yes, it's possible. It depends on the situation. You don't conclude that, oh, because I've done this for somebody, the person should be able to do it for me. They might not be able to do it for you, depend on that situation. They might have policy, they might have their own need, they might have multiple reasons. So that does not mean you shut that door and because you don't, when you want to shut the door in a relationship, I would say you shut it gently because that door, you might need to open it again and there might be benefit again. But we should not go into any relationship believing that we are gaining from that relationship in my boomerang. Okay, I can't find Pastor Niyi. I will have to call him, please. I've been trying to reach him because I know he's been in and then he's out. I don't know what's going on. Please go to the chat room if you can see Pastor Niyi, please. I hope it's okay. Maybe device problem because he told me it's definitely going to be here. Tonight, I'm ringing him now. So let us keep our mind open, as I've said, about this topic tonight. Let us invest in our relationship, invest in our, what's it called, relationship to be able to network. Thank you. Pastor Niyi is here. Good evening, sir. I'm trying to, please, sir. You muted? I thought I'm on mute you. Sorry.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
First, apologies, network issues, Nigeria. And I just rushed in from series of meetings today. So I had to quickly go and take a shower before coming so I can look the part and be impressive to the in this international audience. And got back, and then the network have been kicking me in and out. So it's such a great pleasure to be here, and good. So is it my take right now to continue to
Yes, sir.
start talking? Okay. Good evening, everyone.
They say good evening in the chat room. They're not allowed to talk now.
Okay. Oh, whoa. Okay. Good. Fantastic. Oh, I can see my chairman there. Brother Muiwa, for always supporting my sister. And then you're a great man. You're a great man, and you know I have maximum respect for you. I have maximum respect for you. Thank you. Okay, quick. We're talking about network.
My net worth.
And your net worth. You know, the first time I heard this was about almost 20 years ago. 20 years ago, yeah, when I had the privilege of sitting with Professor Parker told me in a hotel in Lagos when he was looking for young men that he wanted to mentor those days. So that was what he told us, that our net worth will be determined by our network. And since that day, I've been piecing all this together to make sure that I have a good network that can make me have a solid net worth. And again, coming from the happenings in the UK, you know, there's something called grooming, where people are groomed for the benefit of some elderly people or more experienced people. They just groom the younger ones so that they can take advantage of them financially. So also we need to be looking out for that, because there's so much grooming happening. Because if you're in the wrong network, if you're in the wrong network, so grooming will happen, and then you may not be able to realize the necessary net worth that you will need. So we need to be careful about that. But this evening, as we talk about this network thing, let me just focus on what I have always been preaching or speaking on for a very long time, which is what I call the 1% gospel. The 1% gospel. And in understanding this, in understanding the net worth, then we'll understand this better. So that I can know that everybody's following me. So you go to the chat room and type my topic, the 1% gospel, the 1% gospel. So I'm watching, as I'm watching, I'm also trying to see, is anybody that I know online? Thank you, Sonny Ajayi. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Is Auntie Abby here?
Jeez.
Oh, our mentor. My beloved sister, thank you so much for joining in. Awesome. Yeah, 1% gospel. Now, 2 years ago, I started studying about this 1% people, and then
Your network, sir. Not the network. The network you were talking about that you're having problem with. It's fluctuating. We can't hear you properly. Poor network connection. Yeah, that's it, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
2023 report
Oh no.
or
Hello, sir.
2022 report. I can't really remember right now. It was estimated that this 1% people, they control 40. Oh, you can.
It was
Yeah, I started
breaking at
again.
some point.
Hold on.
Still breaking now. We can't hear you at all now. It's gone. We can see you, but we can't hear you. Wow. I don't understand. I think it's gone again. The network is terrible. Very, very unlike him. I've been in his platform many times. Um, so we're gonna still be waiting for him to reconnect. So if anybody know any questions they want to ask or any comment, we can continue while we wait for him. I know we're gonna gain a lot tonight. I know for sure. But I am so surprised the network is like this. It's okay, son.
Okay, am I back? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, apologies. You guys need to pray for us very well in Nigeria. I'm on my third provider right now. Third one. So I hope it works. So sorry. Let's go back. I was talking about the 1% gospel. So should just give me a thumbs up if we're back together, all of us. Just give me a thumbs up. 1% gospel. Good, fantastic. 1% gospel. Now, this 1% gospel, those 1% people, like I said, Credit Suisse says that as far back as 2022, the report that was submitted, thank you, Bola Saraki, that this 1% guys, they control 48.9% of the total wealth. They control 48.9% of the total wealth. And that's very interesting because according to the report that we also heard, that during COVID, around COVID, $42 trillion was released into the market. $42 trillion was released into the market. And then this 1% guys, they cornered 26 trillion of the 42 trillion. 26 trillion of the 42 trillion. So they left 16 trillion for 99% to be struggling with. And now it becomes a bit complicated when you now consider also the 10%. No, we're talking about 1%. There's another 10%. And then this 10% together with the 1%, according to Credit Suisse, they control 85% of the total wealth of the world, 85% of the total wealth of the world. And that's very interesting because when you look at it, so for your net worth to be increasing, then you need to pay attention to the 1% and to the 10%. Anything below that, you are on your own because definitely if 10% controls 85% of the total wealth, that means they left 90% to be struggling with 15%. And you don't want to be amongst the 15% that are languishing below. And it gets worse because there's another 30%, and the 30% are the people, when you add them to the people at the top, 30% upwards, they control 97% of the total wealth. So if you're looking for net worth, if you're looking for wealth, then you know that you don't have a choice but to be amongst the 1%. And worst case scenario, you must just be 10%. Now, who are this 1% that we're talking about? People who earn $1 million and above, $1 million and above. And then who are the 10%? 10% of people who earn $100,000 and above, $100,000 and above. So the 30% are the people who earn between $10,000 and $99,000. And the 70%, the remaining 70% are the people who earn below $10,000. So if you earn a $1 million and above, you are 1%. If you earn 100,000, between 100,000 and $999,000, you are 10%. So the question now is, who are this 1%? How do they think? Where are they? Because those are the people that we should be trying as much as we can to connect with and to find out that those people need to be in our network. Because I always tell people this, that nobody gets to the top. Everybody's brought to the top. So this 1% guys need to be studied. This 1% guys need to be, you need to know them inside out, and you need to know their personality and the characteristic that makes up this 1% guys. Where are they? How do they think? Because until you think like a sink, then we're not going to be able to connect. We're not going to be able to connect. So the 1%, who are they? Where are they? Where can I find them? Because until you find them, then your network is not going to go up. Now, I stumbled on something recently, which is very, very, very fascinating. Now, don't take this too seriously, but it's something that you need to consider. A guy did a study. I don't know how true it is, but it's something that we can glean from. And he said there are 3 boxes that you must tick, at least one of them, for you to belong to the 1%. The 1% there are about 58 million of them in the whole world. 58 million of them. Let's just say 62 million, between 58 and 62 million in the whole wide world that are in this category. You know, I always make jest of the people in Nigeria when they say billionaires network, billionaires Realtor Group. I always make jest of them. That do they know is it billionaires in Naira or billionaires in dollars? If it's in dollars, we have less than 3,000 of them all over the world. So if it's in Naira, then even Nigeria, we have less than 10,000 of them in Nigeria that are billionaires in Naira. So, so I always look at that and say, when people talk about that, because they don't really understand what they are talking about. It's an exclusive club that you must understand how to get in there. Now, a guy did a little research and it came up with some findings. He said for you to become part of the 1%, that you must be born by the 1%. That's the first box. That you must be able to tick that first box to be born by the 1%. So if you're not born by the 1%, like
the network is going against we can't hear you properly anymore.
You know, so I quickly. So the second box said that that for you to, oh, this Lord, has it gone or is it going?
No, it's back. It's back, sir.
But you can hear me faintly.
Yes, now you can hear you now.
Am I back?
It's okay. You're back, sir.
Okay, so okay, good. Where did I stop, guys?
The 1%. You just finished. You're about to say if you are born into the 1%.
Don't worry, so let them communicate with me online.
Okay,
to be born into the 1%, but I need my people to get online. Please get to the chat room and let me know where I stopped. Get to the chat room, let me know where I stopped quickly. Don't worry, I'm going to tie this down to network. We're going to tie it down to network and your net worth. Quickly. You have to be born by the 1%. Auntie Abby, thank you so much. Who again. Those are the 1% talking now. You know, if you don't give a comment, you may not be part of the 1%. Quickly. I can only see one comment. And we have how many people on the call? Quickly, guys. Let's quickly do this. I need to know we're on the same page before I move on. Or you can't hear me again?
We can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
Messi, thank you. I'm looking. Baba Femo, thank you. I like that. Peace, peace. Thank you. Please keep on. Okay, good, fantastic. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. So you have to be born by the 1%. So if you're not born by the 1%, then the next thing you need to do is to look at the second box. The second box says that for you to become part of this 1%, that you must marry into the family of the 1%. Now, for those of you who are already married, you can't change your mind at this time of the night or the day. You can't change your mind. And then for those of us who are not married, I would advise you to shine your eyes very well. You know, people will say, don't marry for love, don't marry for money. I agree. But my advice for you is that you should go to where money is and then marry for love. If time permits me, I'll be able to explain some things to us here also, why the rich always insist on who their children gets married to. So unfortunately also, I couldn't tick the second box. And then I looked at it, okay, I can't tick the first one, I can't tick the second one. And then the third one, I have to quickly go to the third one. And the third one says that for you to belong to the 1%, that you must attend an Ivy League school, And then for those of us who went to, I can see my friend here, Mobolaji Bamdele, I can see him here. I don't know the school he went to. If he went to OOU or University of Lancashire, I don't know. You know, all those universities that they are not necessarily in the map, and then people go there because of because of the amount that they want to pay. So for you to become part of the 1%, number one, if you can take that, you must be born into the 1%. Two, if you can't take that, you must marry into the 1%. Three, you must attend an Ivy League school, So the question is that, can you tick any of these three boxes? I wasn't able to tick any of the three boxes. But then in critically looking at the three boxes, I realized that there was one common denominator that was being mentioned there. It was not about the attendance or the being born or being married. It was more about, the emphasis was more about relationship and connecting with people that matters. Because we've seen people who were born by the 1% that never became 1%. They actually squandered the wealth of the 1%. We have seen people who were born, who married into the 1%, but they never became 1%. Because wealth is not sexually transmitted. And then we've seen people who went to Harvard, but their life is still hard, despite the fact that they went to Harvard. So it's not necessarily because you were born or married or you went to an Ivy League school. The most important thing is that, what are you doing with the connection and with the network that you have at your disposal? Because it is, intentional relationship. Thank you, Mo Baba. Intentional relationship. You have to build those intentional relationships. Now, going forward, I've been able to study so many people, so many rich people, and I realized that nobody gets to the top alone. Everybody's brought to the top. Everybody's brought to the top. So for you to be brought to the top, you want to understand the dynamics of relationship, the dynamics of network, the dynamics of connecting with the right people. I don't know how many of us had the story of the Starbucks guy, the Starbucks guy. Is it our Swartz right now? I don't know whether we had the story when he was going to buy Starbucks. You know, in the 80s, I guess, yes, in the 80s, Starbucks was offered to him with some couple of millions of
It's gone again, sir. Can you hear us? Poor connection, poor internet connection again, sir.
dollars for him to buy the millions of dollars.
We can hear you.
Buy it in millions of dollars, you know. And then he couldn't raise the money, so it was to give him the money to so that I can buy the company.
We're really struggling tonight with the network. Please bear with us. It's gone again. The poor connection, as I said, it's gone again. Poor internet connection. He said he keep trying to change from one to number two to number three, and I don't know what's going on tonight. I don't know. Okay, let's just recap on what he has said so far. He said he's going to marry this into networking. He was just talking about, if you are 1%, that's the top. If you must be born into the 1%. If you're not born into 1%, you must marry into 1%. And if you're not married into 1%, you must attend the Ivy League school, like Harvard, like Oxford, like Cambridge. Am I right, VHF? All those top schools. Some people never became 1%. He was saying that why they don't become 1%, even if they're married to 1%. Like VHF was saying here that you can go to Harvard University and your life is still hard. Welcome back, sir. Okay. Yeah, we can see you, sir. We can see you. Has it gone again? Oh no, what's going on? Can't find him, it's gone again. The network is terrible. So while he was talking about some people never making 1%, MOB was saying something about intentional relationship. If you can make 1, 2, 3, that is being born into 1%, marrying into 1%, attend a Ivy League school, then we have to be intentional with our relationship. But with the relationship we have, what are we doing with them? Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm back. Thank you. I could hear you. I don't know what happened to me. I could hear you recapping all my stuff, but good. So, can you hear me now?
We
Can
can
I
hear
go
you,
on?
sir.
Okay, good. Fantastic. So I was talking about Starbucks. How it's worked. So it was raising money. It was raising money so that they could go and buy Starbucks in the 80s, some couple of millions of dollars. So he couldn't raise it. He was talking to people everywhere. And then all of a sudden, the guy who was going to sell him the company called him and told him there's somebody here who has, we've gotten a better offer. We've gotten an offer, and the guy is ready to pay cash, not even a credit facility. He was ready to pay cash. So, Mr. Howard, we may not be able to sell Starbucks to you. That was the start news he got. So he was sitting with his friend. That's why you need to have good friends, also networking. He was sitting with his friend, and when he sat with his friend, the friend was telling him, he was lamenting to his friend that, look, this is what has happened. Can you imagine the guy who I went to raise money from eventually went behind me to offer money to Starbucks to buy it? So his friend said, you know what, tomorrow morning, if you come to our office, we will be able to rectify this. So he came to our chambers, is the law firm. So he went there in the morning and then sat down with a senior lawyer. So he introduced him to a senior lawyer. So he sat down with the senior lawyer. The senior lawyer heard all his complaints and all his requests and said he now confirmed. Are you sure all these things happened? He said yes. So you know what? The senior lawyer just took him and said, you know what? Come with me. Fortunately for him, the guy who offered the millions of dollars to pay cash was just across the road to the senior lawyer's office in Seattle. So they went straight to the guy's office. The lawyer barged into the office, more or less, walked straight into the guy's office, into his private office, and then looked him straight in the eye and told him that, I heard that you're trying to buy Starbucks, but Howard went there before you, and because Howard introduced you, or told you about it, that's why you got to know about it. So I'm telling you right now, as I'm talking to you right now, you are not going to buy Starbucks because Howard is going to buy it. Is that okay? Boom. He was not even waiting for a reply from the guy and then left the room. Guess what? That was the end of the guy who was going behind Howard to buy Starbucks. he did not buy that company again. Why? Because the lawyer came and then more or less threatened him. Now you can see the power of relationship. You can see the power of relationship at play here. So anybody who really want to build anything for their lives or with their life must know how to deliberately build those networks and intentionally build those networks. Now, the senior lawyer, interestingly, I'll talk about that now. The senior lawyer we're talking about now in the 80s that helped Howard to secure Starbucks. The name of the guy is Bill Gates Sr., the father of Bill Gates. Now, many people look at Bill Gates, they look at Bezos, they look at Elon Musk, and they feel that, okay, this guy just dropped down from heaven, not knowing that their net worth right now was based on their network. Now, I just told you about the father of Bill Gates himself, Bill Gates Sr. He was a very successful lawyer in America. Aside that, Bill Gates' maternal, his mom was also a director of a bank. Bill Gates' maternal grandfather was a chairman of a bank. Now you can see the kind of network that Bill Gates had. And that was why they said, there was a time they had to talk to IBM to purchase some of the things that he was doing, and he was software then. Not just it. I think there was a new controversy now about Elon Musk that Elon Musk was saying that he was poor, he was in poverty, blah blah blah, and his father came that no, don't mind him. Elon Musk was dropped in school by Rolls Royce. Now, what am I trying to say? Those of us who didn't have that privilege of having a strong network or the 1% to give birth to us, then we must deliberately and intentionally go for strategic relationship in our lives. Now, that is the global wealthiest people. When you come into your own country, especially in Nigeria that I reside, you realize that the top 3 or the top 5 people, wealthy people in Nigeria, let me just say the billionaires in Nigeria, they are all well connected. Dangote is the 3rd generation wealth builder in his family. Dangote is a descendant of the Dantata. Mike Adenuga's mother was a very successful businesswoman in Ijebu-Ode and Ibadan at the time. What's it called? What's his name again? Femi Otedola. Femi Otedola, we all know that Femi Otedola's dad was a governor of Lagos State at the point in time. Now, what am I trying to say here? Basically, is this. You must intentionally and deliberately build a solid network for you to grow your net worth. Now, if you grow your net worth without a strong network, I can bet you it's very likely that you will lose the net worth. Because there's a level you get to in life that if you get there alone, you are an endangered species. For those of us who are Nigerians, there's a proverb that we always say in Nigeria, and it's more like, not a proverb, but more like, Yoruba, more like a saying. They said you should be careful for the battles that you fight alone. Be careful about the battles you fight alone. So everyone who wants to make it in life, want to build relationship for themselves, we want to stay very, very meaningful and build a strong network, must be deliberate about building relationships. Now, in building your strong network, you must. Okay, let me say this. There are some people you must build strong stakeholders in your life. Now, who are your stakeholders? The people who are powerful and interested in you. People who are powerful and interested in you. Now, I always, every now and then, deliberately try to build relationship with strong stakeholders. Now, I teach the stakeholders analysis, and most of us must have heard about it in our project management courses. It's a stakeholders analysis. Now, when it comes to stakeholders analysis, you have 4 quadrants there. You have people who are not powerful and not interested in you. They don't like you, and they are not even powerful to make you one or make you less one. Now, you have the second category of people who are not powerful, but they are interested in you. People who are not powerful, but they are interested in you. Then you have the third category of people who are powerful, but not interested in you. Now, for those of us who are very, very smart, those are the people that we will find out how we'll connect with. Who are the powerful people in my office? When it comes to my career, who are the powerful people that can project my career and give me that space at the top? In my industry, where I am an entrepreneur, who are the people that are calling the shots? In other words, who are this 1% in my vicinity? Because in every profession, in every office, in every career path, there is always the 1%. There are always the 1%, the 10%, and the 30%. Who are those people? How can I get them? Now, once you know that these people are powerful but not interested in you, those are your target audience. Let's leave those ones. But the most important people in your life are people who are powerful and interested in you. Those ones need to be managed. Those ones need to be courted. Those ones need to be serviced, so to say. But let's go back to the people who are powerful and not interested in you. Because we're talking about network now. How do you build solid network? People who are powerful, but they are not interested in you. How do you make them become interested in you? The first thing you need to do is to figure out their area of concern. Their area of concern. What are they doing right now that I can add 1 or 2 suggestions to? What are they doing right now that I can make better? What are they doing right now that I can increase in their productivity or their performance? So once you figure that out, then probably you write a mail or you write a letter to them to tell them these are the things that you're going through, or these are the things that your project that you're running right now, and these are my suggestions, and these are the skills set that I have, and I can give you A, B, C, and D. My number is here. My email is here. If you want me to supply this, please get across to me. And then you must add it there. I'm ready to give this for as free without asking you for 1 dime. Knowing fully well that what you're looking for is that relationship is for them to be interested in you. So the more people you have in that category, the better for you. When you meet people like that who are powerful and not interested in you, you must also understand their language. There is a language of the powerful. The language of the powerful is that they don't beg. They are not beggarly in their approach. The language is not a language of help me or manage or something. No, they don't beg. So once you meet them, you can't afford to be sounding and looking like somebody who's begging for attention or who's begging for a favor. Rather, you must be the one to give favors to these people so that you can connect with them. It's very important for all to know that they don't beg. This 1%, they don't beg, they demand. You don't have to demand, but then you must make sure that your language is not full of how will you help me? How will you do this? How will you do that? Rather, you should be looking for ways to be a blessing to them. Now, again, your skill set. Let me give you a good example. I probably have done a lot of programs in a hotel in Nigeria, one of the biggest hotels in Nigeria, and then we've done tremendously well with the program. And then just yesterday, we had another program in a hotel, but this time around, it's not my program. This time around was the program of my mentor, Sam Adesanya. He was going to use the hall, the convention center that he has never used before in a hotel. And because we've used it several times, so he got me, and I did give everything I have into it. The program was a successful program yesterday. And then why am I doing that? Why did I do that? Because I am trying to make sure I service my stakeholder, which is Sam Adeyemi. The more connection I have with him, the more network network and my network becomes stronger with him, the better my productivity, the better my net worth becomes. And guess what? Many people that saw me running around yesterday, running to make sure that Niyi Adesanya was running around yesterday. Niyi Adesanya was, I didn't carry the speakers, but I was instructing people, carry that speaker, do this and do that. I was moving, because we used about 4 different halls. I was moving from one hall to another, telling him, I need you, sir, to move into that hall right now. I need you. You can't do more than 20 minutes in that hall. Move out of that hall. People saw me. Guess what? As people saw me running around for Sam Adeyemi, you know what? They started calling me today to ask me, I know that you two have a program. How can we be part of that program? Now you can see the power of network. Now paying off on my own net worth. Because I manage a stakeholder who is powerful and who is interested in me. Are we getting something out of this? Please talk to me, guys. Let me know that I've not been disconnected.
Sure, sir. We're writing notes.
Awesome. Yeah. No, let's get to the comments. Oh, Larry Adeshola, that's Canada. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are. Okay, we're writing. Abby, my auntie Abby is writing notes. So that's just it, guys. But this is it. When you are now in a network, you are now within a network, you must ensure that you give your network value. Actually, as much as you can, you should outgive your network as much as you can. Because look, somebody who is powerful and interested in you today may lose interest in you tomorrow, but you don't want that to happen. You can't afford that. Anybody that is a stakeholder in your life must remain a stakeholder in your life. Must remain a stakeholder in your life. So you belong to a network, you must give value. You belong to a network, you must engage the network. Oh, we're going to Zanzibar, or we're going to Marrakesh, we're going to Malaga, we're going to this and that. You must be part of it.
Oh no. Again. We can't hear you anymore, sir. If you can hear us. Network is gone again. Internet connection is poor again, sir. If you can hear us like the other time, we can hear you. Okay. Wow. I was just writing notes. I'm just trying to, you're back. Okay. Thank you, sir. Oh no.
Don't worry, you bear with me today. Next time we'll make sure that we fix this thing. I don't know what. Network in Nigeria, they can be very good today, and then tomorrow, before you know what's happening, they can throw you off balance. So, like I was saying, you have to be involved in everything that is happening within that network. Every party of your stakeholder, you must at least be there to the best of your, as long as you can afford it. If you can afford it, send a gift. Every Christmas, they must get a gift. Every festive period, they must get a gift. Their birthdays, they must get a gift. That is how to strengthen your network. I used to teach something, and I know I've taught this several times, but I'll just say it here for the benefit of those who were just meeting me for the first time. It's what I call EBA, emotional bank account. Not my original idea, it's Stephen R. Covey's idea. But EBA, E, emotion, B, bank, A, account. Everybody you meet, your face and your name register to the person immediately. Once your face and your name registers with the person, you have opened an account in the person's emotional bank. You have opened an account in the person's emotional bank. Anything you do to them that stirs up their emotions positively, you're making a deposit into their emotional bank. Anything you do to them that stirs up their emotions negatively, you're making a withdrawal from their emotional bank. So you do me a favor, you're making a deposit. You ask for a favor, you're making a withdrawal. You backbite about me, you're making a withdrawal. You say good things about me, you're making deposits. So everybody has to be careful about the transaction that takes place in other people's emotional bank in your account in other people's emotional bank. So that is why when you're in a network, you must be able to give your network enough EBA, because you don't know when you would need a favor from your network. Now, not just that, there will be a time where just being in a room, hope we know that general knowledge does not change anybody. It does not, sorry, it changes people, but it doesn't make you wealthy. General knowledge does not make you wealthy. It is privileged knowledge that makes you wealthy. Now, how do you get privileged knowledge? You get privileged knowledge in privileged gatherings. Look, the stocks that are going to rise tomorrow, some people knew about it a week ago. The ones that are going to fall, some people knew about it a week ago. There's something happening in America right now. All the Congress people, you hear this person making money, they sell their stock before the stocks, the shares drops in price. They call it insider trading. That is privileged information, although it is against the law, but that is privileged information. Many of us will have been richer than we are right now if only we're able to build strong network that can make some information available to us. So what are you doing about those kind of relationships? I tell people this, people say, what can they, for instance, you're probably somebody was supposed to be on this call right now, they are not on this call. We say, what will Tolu Tolu talk with Tolu Tolu? What will really benefit me? All these Zoom people. But you know what? In a gathering like this, they are privileged information. In a gathering like this, questions could be answered, questions could be asked, and somebody gives an answer, and then before it does it, there's a connection in this place. And then because of that, boom, net worth increases. I mean, I was, during COVID, just sitting out at home and attending some Zoom meetings and then making some few calls with some people. Before it was happening, just within one day, during COVID, just within one day, less than 24 to 48 hours, one day, my net worth increased by 20 million naira just one day. Just for the fact that I was in a place and they told me, if you do this, this is what will happen at this time. And I did it. And then, boom, the thing came up like that. 20 million naira. I mean, just imagine. I don't know what that amounted to in pounds. Don't use today's exchange rate. Use the exchange rate of 2020. Use the exchange rate of 2020. Don't use the exchange rate of today. Then you know what I'm talking about. When you just sat down with people and then boom, you're getting a 20 million naira just because you move money from somewhere and you put money somewhere else, and then you got that. I mean, crazy boost in your network. So, somebody was asking, what should we do? I think this is the thing I'm already saying here. What you need to do is to figure out who are the 1%. Where are they? Where do they gather? Because those are the people that has the money. Now, if 1% has 48.9% of the total wealth, if 1% as at 2021, $42 trillion was released into the market, and this 1% cornered 26 trillion of the money. So you know that what you need to do is to be able to build a strong network with these people. Where are they? Where do they gather? Now, you may not be able to pay for some trips that they will go for, but then there are some things that you can do. For instance, you can meet some of them in church. You can meet some of them in the mosque. But then, are you active where they are active? Are you volunteering where you can easily get their attention? Even in your office, just by doing the right thing and giving somebody enough EBA, you know what I mean by EBA? You will be, once you give somebody EBA, emotional bank account, you play the game very well. They will be the ones to show you the opportunities, where you should go, where you should not go, what you should do, what you should not do. You know, sometimes I always tell people this: if there is a meeting holding anywhere in your organization or in your industry, and then nobody on that table has your interest at heart, then you are an endangered species. You are endangered. Because sometimes they come out of the meeting, and the meetings that will make you or mar you, most of the time, if not all of the time, you are not even in attendance. When they are about to discuss your downfall or your upgrade, you're always not there. So you want to ensure that once they are discussing that, there's somebody on that table that's got your back. There must be somebody on that table that's got your back. And most of the time, they will come to you. They won't tell you what they discuss at the meeting. They will ask you, 2 years ago, have you done your taxes? Okay. Please make sure you do it. What course are you studying right now? No. Don't study that course. Why not think about this course? Can you do all of this course, short course, quickly? You know why they're giving you information? Because they know what is coming. They know what is coming. And one thing about it is that also, I think Professor Patti taught me this. He called it regulator capture. Regulator capture. In other words, the people who regulate your industry must be captured by you because they are your stakeholders. One policy from them, you're finished. One policy from them, you can be richer. Regulator capture. You must be able to capture the people who regulate your industry. So how do you capture your regulators if you don't attend any meeting that your regulators are organizing? How you capture your regulators when they say, okay, you know what, send people for training, and you are refusing to send people for training, say it's not compulsory. Oh, how do you capture your regulator when they want a donation for charity and then you're not donating you're not donating to them to support the charity that they want to support? How do you capture your regulator? So guys,
thank you so much.
I think I've spoken enough.
Yes.
Let us have an interaction now.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you, sir. Anybody have any question, please? Wow. Anybody have any question? Please use the icon to raise your hand up if you want it to be as interactive as possible. Any question? Any question? Because I have question I want to ask, but I want other people to ask, please. I don't want to be the one asking the question. Anybody have any question? Okay, MOB, please unmute yourself, sir.
Good evening, Pastor Niyi.
We can't see you, MOB. It's okay.
Okay, can you see me now? Good evening, Pastor Niyi.
Where are you calling from? Lagos or London? You know you're everywhere now these days.
I'm in Leeds.
Yeah, I know.
I'm in Leeds. Pastor Niyi, I just wanted to give an example of what I said to you years ago. I remember so many years ago, I went to see Pastor Niyi in church, looking at, from his story tonight, and I said to Pastor Niyi that I want to drive you for 1 year. I want to be your driver for 1 year. Though he didn't accept the offer, but I was looking for a way to connect, and thank God that today, Pastor Niyi has been a blessing. Has been a blessing. And I once told you a story how I stayed back in Daystar. We got to Daystar not because I listened to Pastor Sam. It was the one that preached the very first day I got to Daystar, and I said, no, this is home. So thank you so much, Pastor Niyi, for this session tonight. But I want to ask a question on EBA, emotional bank account. You know, I've been in your meeting several times that you've actually ingrained this into us, but a lot of people are not getting this thing right. Most times the relationship is parasitic. So what is your advice for, because you could say that I want to connect with this person. There are things I can do with this person, but by the time they bring up that wrong move, it kills everything. And it's distorting a lot of things. It's causing a lot of relationship to go south. So how do we address this, Pastor Niyi?
Okay, are you connecting up or connecting down? Which one are you talking about now?
No. If for connecting up, well, it's okay, but connecting down, that is an issue. The dynamics,
Okay.
a lot of people are not getting it right. Someone wants to come up and he wants to discover that there's this potential. I can do some things with this person. But the moment they come into your space, they step in with the wrong foot.
Okay.
So
well, number one, they didn't ask for the relationship. You're the one who needed the relationship. That means you feel that they have something to offer. That's why you want to connect with them, I guess.
Yeah.
So more or less, that's connecting up, no matter how down they have. Because, I always tell people this, there's something about power that can we recognize power when we see power? Power sometimes is position. Power sometimes is a gatekeeper. For instance, a secretary or a PA to a minister or a what do we use in the UK now? Is it secretary right now? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Secretary? No, it's America that is secretary. Anyway, to a minister, that PA is also powerful. The PA may be lower than you, but you know that if you don't pay attention to the PA, he may not even give your phone or the phone to the minister to talk to you. You understand what I'm talking about? So anybody like that who has what you want, that means you're connecting up no matter the position of the person. So if that is the case, so you're the one who is looking for something. So if you're looking for something, then you will have to play by the rule of connecting up. Now, what I tell people is this: you must be ready to be used. You must be ready to be used. Yeah, you must be ready to be used. And then you're bidding your time, used and bidding your time. I tell people that there's nothing wrong in being used. There's nothing abusive in being used. There's nothing abusive in it. Because all of us, we are being used and we are using people. Yeah. Abuse only happens when you're used. Sorry, abuse happens when I use you and I do not volunteer myself to be used by you. That's where abuse comes. Everybody's using everybody. Children are using their parents. Parents are eventually sending their children to school and giving them all the things that they needed to give them because they know that at the end of the day, they will rely on the children because in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, they will still be used. We use God and God uses us. God uses us and everything like that. So that's just the way life is. So you become redundant if you don't want to be used because whether you like it or not. I mean, Tolu is using me tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I use you a lot.
Yes, now she's using me tonight, and then tomorrow I may ask for a favor. Then me too, I will use her. So that's just the way life is. But if you're looking for something from somebody, you just look at, okay, how do I make this life of the person better? But for someone who is connecting up also, I'm talking about the younger people now, they must see the reason why they want to connect with you. If they don't see the reason why they're going to connect with you, you are deficient. They are not deficient. They are not at the negative. You're the one that is deprived. So you just have to submit yourself to be used by them. Look at how ways you can get better, to make them better. But then if I'm going to connect up to anybody, because sometimes people don't understand that, especially when it comes to mentoring, mentor and mentee, except people are schooled properly, they don't understand. Everybody connect with a mentor because of what they want to get from the mentor. I mean, sometimes financial help, sometimes being introduced to people in the place of power. But nobody gets power and just gives you that access to that power on a platter of gold. Nobody does it. Nobody does it. You have to work for it. And when I mean work for it, it's not that you are paying for it, but you have to work for it. And then you pay for whatever you want 2, 3 means. One of these 3 means. 1, treasure. In other words, your money. That's what most of us focus on. 2, your talent. If you don't have money, you can pay with your talent. You don't have treasure, you can pay with your talent, your skills and everything. Now, if you don't have talent, which is very rare, then you can pay with your time. So you have treasure, talent, and time. Treasure, talent, and time. So if you give somebody your time, for instance, when you said you wanted to drive me, I was scared because you're a big man. When a big man starts driving you, you're wondering, what will happen to me now? So that is you offering a skill, a talent in driving, and also your time. Do you understand? So people must realize that you can offer this, and you must be able to offer it. Remember what I said earlier on about the area of concern. Area of concern. Now, if you offer to drive me, driving is not my area of concern right now because I have drivers and I can get drivers whenever I want to get drivers. So there are other things that you can look at. What is wrong with Niyi's business? What is he not doing right? What are the gaps that I can see probably from his website or the way he's marketing and everything? And then based on the fact that you have done a course on sales and marketing, you're not saying, you know what, I consider your marketing is not doing very well. Can I come in and train your people on XYZ so that we can move your marketing to the next level? And I'm ready to do this for as free as I can. Look, I'll be stupid not to give you that opportunity. I'll be stupid not to give you that opportunity. Because who doesn't want more money? And then once you are able to raise my income, you've gotten me. I'm glued. I'm connected. I'll always be looking forward to you. And then at that point in time, I will even be offering you money.
Yeah.
I will even be offering you money.
Thank you, sir. I have one question here. We are rounding up soon because of time. If somebody is asking, how do you navigate a network you have built, but find out they have some values that contradict your own value, though they are both powerful and interested stakeholders?
Well, it depends on the value you're talking about. The values, look, sometimes you close your eyes and you take what you want to take and then move on. Look, I always tell people this, sometimes, the Bible says this, very interesting for those of us, for those of us who are not Christians, just permit me to say this. When the Bible says he prepared a table before you in the presence of your enemy, not in the presence of your friend, that means there are some food, there are some things you cannot enjoy unless you have people that are enemies, probably people who differ in values, in your value proposition or your value orientation on the same table. So if that is the case, that means that there are some levels you can never get to unless you have a negotiation with evil, like my friend will say. You have to be able to negotiate with evil for you to get to some particular point. And that is why you must build yourself up to the point that you know that these people cannot affect your value system. Now, let me give you a good example. Many of you must have seen some of the programs that I have with the kings in Africa, traditional rulers. And sometimes we're in the same room, we're talking, and then, sometimes they want to go do something. They say, Pastor, we want to go to the other room and everything, want to do this. I bid them good well. We're fair well. They'll go to the other room. And then when they are done whatever they want to do in the other room, what I mean by other room is not with ladies. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. And they come back and meet me and we sit down, we still talk. They respect me for who I am, and I respect them for who they are. Why am I connecting with them? I would need them. There was a day one of my guys had a problem with his land in one of the kingdom of one of the kings. it was going to lose 150 million naira. I'm talking about 3-4 years ago. I don't know. I need to be converting this thing. I don't want to be converting naira to pounds so that I don't make you people who have pounds become too pompous. Because that's why you people came to do Dirty December in Nigeria. You just like, if I have £1, but if I bring 1,000 pounds, I will just dominate everybody. I don't like converting it. So you can convert it yourself. So it was going to lose that land. It was going to lose the land. It was going to lose one of his net worths, worth 150 million. But what did we do? We stepped into the case. We went to the Kabesis, the king's palace. We had a conversation with him, and we restored him back the land. So, am I saying that they have the same values that I will? Number one, our faith and probably the things that we do behind closed doors are different. So you must just be ready to do, okay, no, this is what I have to do. I have to move on with my life. But you know what? Whatever you're doing, whatever your values are, will not contradict my own value. But there are some places where you know that, okay, this thing has gone beyond the limit that I can allow. When you start seeing some atrocity happening that affects you and affects your reason, then you move away from that. What I do most of the time is that everybody who is in my network, they know how far they can go with me. They know how far I can go with them. I was at a program, a 1-week program of one of these kings. And I told them that, look, I will come for this one on Thursday. I will come for Friday. But I won't come on Saturday. I won't come on Monday. They said, why? Because what you're going to be doing on Monday and Tuesday, blah, 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 are not going to agree with my face. But this Thursday and Friday sits down well with me. So I'll be there. And they allowed me. Because right from day one, they know that this is a pastor. And then you can't bring whatever you have to him. And then I try to bring whatever I have to them in a stylish way anyway. Hope you understand. So you must be able to do all that. Somebody say it's scriptural. Yeah, I know scriptural. Very, very scriptural. So that you can we can know how to manage this. Good. Any other question?
Thank you, sir. I don't think there's any more. Any other question? I don't want to ask because of time. But people say,
can I say this if you don't mind? It just came up.
Okay.
Okay, if you don't mind. For those of us who are on the call, please, I will share with Tolu and then she will share with you. We'll be having a program in London on the 5th of April. 5th of April. It's a Christian program though, but it's tied around the marketplace also. Marketplace, the church and the marketplace influence. And then it's going to be at Hyatt and Central London, somewhere in Central London. And it's free. It's free. It's not something that you pay for. It's going to be from morning till evening. So you can be part of it. What are we trying to do? We're trying to raise Christian giants in the marketplace so that they can have the necessary information that they need to be able to thrive in the marketplace. And then one thing we realized for those of us who are Nigerians, who are in the diaspora, are people who are, whenever we get to the foreign land, we always try to look for jobs. We don't try to create jobs. And then there are so many things that we need to take advantage of and take control of. So please, on the 5th of April, we'll be having a program at Hyatt for pastors and people in the marketplace. But also on the 4th of April, we'll also have another program in London, 4th and 5th. 4th of April, we have another program in London, and the program in London is going to happen at the House of Lords. House of Lords. We wanted an interaction with businessmen, and the member and the Lord Hastings is hosting us. Lord Michael Hastings is hosting us in the House of Lords on the 4th of April. That is also free. Not, when he's telling you free, I'm being generous. And
is it the same as last year? The one he had last year? You were there last year.
No, this is kind of different. Different. We have 4th of April. We'll be in House of Lords. Palace of Westminster, 4th of April, the old day, that's Friday. And on the 5th of April, we'll be having businessmen and pastors together in the same room. And then there we'll pray for businesses. We'll do a lot of things to make sure that people are thriving in their different industry, and then they are making headway to make sure that things are happening. So those are the two programs that I would like to introduce to us, but we'll get more information from Tolu Toro to let us know how we can be part of that. And then also, there's one in Malaga, but the one in Malaga is not free. That's where myself and Dr. Sam Adesanya will be in Malaga. So I don't want to talk about the one that has money, because this is Tolu's platform. Let me talk about the one that doesn't have money.
Talk about it, sir. Somebody is already typing Malaga while you were talking.
Which is 4th and 5th of April. Malaga is 25th to 29th of March. 25th to 29th of March. Myself, Dr. Sam Adesanya will be there, and then we have 60 people coming from Nigeria already. We have some people coming from Canada. We have people coming from Manchester. We have some coming from London also to Malaga. So if you're interested in that, also, you can talk to Tolu.
Okay, sir.
Tolu Toro. And but that has a prize on it. Is the $10,000 prize on it. So talk to her, and then we'll take it out from there. You can convert the $10,000 to pounds, so you know what I'm talking about. And then we're still open to giving you a discount. But that one is fully residential. You'll be in Malaga with us, and then we can interact. Especially those of you who are looking at setting up business in Nigeria. While some people who are going to be in the team are also looking at setting up businesses in London and everywhere. So there will be a cross-fertilization of ideas being shared amongst yourselves. So you just need to be part of that. Malaga is 25th to 29th. London, which is free. House of Lords, 4th of April. That's for businessmen. And then members of the London Chamber of Commerce will also be there. We're requesting for them to be there. Lord Michael Hastings will be there to share ideas with us, and a lot of other speakers will be there. And then on the 5th of April, we'll be at Hyatt Hotel, somewhere in central London. I don't know your postcode yet. And then there will be sharing. 50 people will be in the room, a mixture of pastors and businessmen, and it will take the discussion to a higher level. So those are the programs that we have. God bless you for your attention.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sorry, no more question. Somebody wants to know how they connect in pub, in a public place, it's worldly place.
The one what?
They said, how do you connect with the network if they are in the pub and we class as worldly place, and you don't drink, you are born again Christian, you don't drink, you don't go to pub. So how do you connect with people there?
That's go there now. Must you drink?
Drink water. What's it called? Coca-Cola.
Who even told you that drinking is a sin? Is getting drunk. That is it. Well, let us go there. This is not a religious gathering. But
thank
like
you
I said,
so much,
God, the Lord prepares a table before you in the presence of your enemy. You must be able to negotiate with people. Negotiate with people. You must be able to negotiate with people who are classified enemies for you to make progress in life. That's some food that you will never eat unless you eat it on the table with enemies.
Please unmute yourself and say big thank you to Pastor Niyi. Thank you so much, sir. Can't wait to see you in April.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.